www.sunshinestatenews.com. This is the Florida Minute from Sunshine State News. I'm Ed Dean. All right, it is the Ed Dean Radio Show. We're talking with elected school board member out of the Treasure Coast, Indian River County, Shawn Frost, also a political commentator, author, go to frostplan.com. So we pointed out that the opt-out movement, by the way, it's been co-opted by a bunch of libs. I don't care if it's left or right. I just don't think it's the right way to go. If your kid's not passing, they need tutoring not to opt out, okay? And there's a way of addressing the testing issue. I think, listen, if you cut the test down from 100 to 45, people are listening out there, right? Yeah. Just don't take your marbles and go home. So the opt-out movement, I don't support right now. There's a thing called an honesty gap. What's going on? Is this a terminology being used in Florida? What is this all about here in education?
Well, there are a few of the nonprofits and think tanks who are referring to the honesty gap. What happened is the U.S. Chamber of Commerce declared Florida's honesty level on our assessment.
What do you mean by honesty level?
Well, there's the NAEP, which is a nationally normed test, right? And we have our locally created, we have our state test, the FSA. And what they did is they looked at proficiency at the national level versus at the Florida level. So at the Florida level, we're set at about 80% of the national level. So, proficient in Florida is a lower bar than it is nationwide. So, obviously this is something we need to, as my kids say, keep it 100. We need to be honest about it. And instead of keeping it at 80%, we need to set it up to 100%.
What do you mean they're keeping it at 80?
Well, we set our cut scores, basically saying, we look at the test, we look at all the data, and that's what we're waiting on now, candidly. And they'll be setting that cut score, I think, in mid-October, in the next couple weeks.
So what is it, 80% passing?
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
Well, not 80% is passing. 80% is it's at the proficiency level, right?
Okay.
So just pass. If it's pass-fail, our pass is at 80% of the national average.
Wait. It's kind of like being in the financial world, that you have to get a 70% to pass some of your securities or whatever it is, and it doesn't matter whether you get a 90 or a 70, it's passing.
Right. And that's
but you guys aren't looking at it that way. You say, no, wait, why don't we go for 85, 90%? Is that what you're looking at?
Well, we need to raise the bar. I think that we've seen these the standardized.
You're not doing the Ronald Reagan where you agree with me 70% of the time. We need to raise the bar, right?
No, I'm saying that we have kids that are graduating, and I think that a recent study showed that only 19% of the 2014 ACT students are prepared in all 4 categories.
Oh my word!
So I think it's time that we're realistic with these kids, and we have 65,000% of Florida freshmen that need remediation to take college prep. 65,000.
Okay, percentage-wise, that's over 50%. Let me tell you where I'm getting at. 20 years ago, when I was an education reporter for a local newspaper in Brevard County. I mean, I covered politics, but I covered a lot of other stuff as well. And I remember covering education it was a big story that it's now Eastern State Community College. Then it was called Brevard Community College. And those that attended UCF at that branch, 20 years ago, Shawn, it was the same thing. Over 60%, the majority of kids that were in their first 2 years of the local community college need remedial courses. Those numbers have not changed. What's going on here?
Well, and I think that that's the thing is we're willing to set our own bar, and we're setting it too low. Georgia recently got called out on their honesty gap, which was a 50-point difference. A 50-point difference, and they decided to raise the bar.
Okay, when was I'm asking you, maybe you don't know this. When was the bar lower?
Well, I think it's one of those things where it's been slowly over time. I think that maybe it's just that we haven't sufficiently raised it in comparison to the rest of the nation.
I remember,
I don't know that it's lowered. It may have just been too low all along.
Yeah, years ago when you and I went to school, and of course it fluctuates with the school, but remember a 70 to 74 was a D.
Yeah.
Now it's like a C minus.
Well, there's definitely grade inflation. And I think you're seeing that with these cut scores too, where we set the proficiency cut score.
You know what? I think, listen, I don't mean to interrupt you. I think, and this is not a conspiracy, but I think a lot of times we do it so we make our numbers look good.
Sure.
So we don't get a D grade,
Absolutely.
we get a C grade, it's passing. Right. So I think you're right, we're inflating the numbers.
Well, it's not just me. The data.
It's like a quota.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It's the data. You can't, the facts, as you say, are indisputable.
That's right.
Here on the Ed Dean Radio Show, the facts are indisputable, and when I come, I bring good facts. And the fact is that the Chamber of Commerce says we're at a C, and that's not good.
Now, hold on a second. I'm going to get emails today. People are going to sit back and go, wait a second. Shawn Frost just said, along with Ed Dean, that we're over-testing our kids,
right?
But yet on the other side, we've got to raise the level score up there.
Fewer, better tests. Right? And this is why I fight so hard.
That's like the old radio. Less is better.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Fewer, better tests. Right? I think we should be starting with a nationally normed test, like the Iowa Basic Test. I think we should be starting with the PSAT and the
okay,
SAT.
Wait, hold on. Is this all state standardized, or
yes.
is this all federal?
No, this is all state.
I had to ask.
And that's the thing, right? Is we're comparing ourselves nationally and falling short. So what do? We make our own test, and then we set the score on the test, right? So it's like if you buy a trophy, it damn well better say exactly what you want it to say right on the trophy. So the same criticism comes for this validation study. The same criticism comes for this FSA, our own custom test.
This gives me a weird thought. One of my it's a sequel, but one of the best movies that I know out there was Meet the Parents.
Yeah.
With Ben Stein.
Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller, excuse me, and Robert De Niro, where his name was Gaylord Fokker.
Right.
I'm watching it. Then the sequel was Meet the Parents, where and remember the son-in-law is Jewish, so they're making it, but it's a fun. So the parents were Dustin Hoffman and Bette
Midler, right?
No, not Bette Midler. Who was Barbara Streisand? Okay, and remember it was Barbara Streisand. And remember they're showing Gaylord Fokker and he got 9th place in like horseshoes or ribbon cutting.
Right.
And the point is wait a second. Who gets 9th place ribbons out there? And what I'm getting at is it's kind of like the ball games. It's like we're giving everybody. I mean, there is no incentive to be higher than everybody else.
Right.
If everybody passes, we equal the same. No, I mean, it's like I heard people want to get rid of valedictorian out there and everything else. And the point of what I'm getting at is that if everybody, I mean, it's 80%. You want to increase the bar,
right?
But then again, hey, it's like the 9th ribbon or the ribbon for 9th place out there. That means everybody just passes. Is that the intent that some people want to go with?
I think so, and I don't know if they mean it. If they mean it as significantly as you say, but I certainly think that giving a dishonest appraisal is the worst thing you could do. As an employer, I'm always hitting my employees right between the eyes with an appraisal because it makes them better. If someone has a proficiency gap, we need to look at it. Because otherwise you can't just sweep it under the rug. And we're giving these students...
I think we're doing a lot of that.
Well, I think we are too. And I think that it's time that parents get involved and they can send an email to assessment at fldoe.org and let them know that they want the bar set higher.
Now here's the question.
Yeah.
Who's sweeping it under the rug?
Well, I think that
teacher, principal, education association.
I think it's bigger than that. Yeah, I think it's probably your teachers union maybe.
Okay.
But the thing is, if we need to hold them accountable and we need to have real test results. And the only way we do that is if we sufficiently set the bar to the national standard, because otherwise we're just failing these kids.
Okay, where's this going now? Is this coming up in legislature soon or what?
Well, I think we are going to see in legislature soon. They're actually going to be setting the bar at the state level, the state commission for education, state board of education is going to be meeting to set the cut scores. I think it's October 15th. So get those emails out to assessment at fldoe.org and ask them to bridge the honesty gap.
I got a minute left. I don't want to mention the name. This individual asked me to keep it quiet, but they want to push a bill to make the education commissioner no longer. I voted against it years ago. I want to make these people elected for the population out there. Yeah. Education commissioner, I think should be elected.
I think so too. I think it'd be good. My deepest concern.
You love to run for that, wouldn't you?
Oh, I'd love to. I'm not. But we need it back in the hands of the people, and I see the wisdom in the current model because it sort of does balance the legislature and the executive branch, because the legislature is they're going to be acting this session.
Hey, listen, I know school superintendents that are elected position here in Florida. Are they not?
Most of them.
No way. Most of them are.
Yep. I couldn't believe it when I first.
Not in York County.
No, not
in
Brevard. I was disappointed. I wouldn't run in a district where they were. They're so powerful. Should they all be elected? I think, candidly,
depends on the county,
position,
right?
Well, no, I think my position is that they should be appointed.
All right. Shawn Frost, go to frostplan.com, elected school board member, and any River County political commentator. Thanks for coming on today.
My pleasure.
The whole education. I think I could spend hours. I could spend the whole show on education. All right, continue to move along. Thanks so much for tuning in. The email address is ed@eddean.com, ed@eddean.com. Twitter is eddeanradio, facebook.com/eddeanradio, Florida's #1 radio show.